Okay, we are recording and we are going live in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, welcome to today's special edition of the Kong Family Show. We have a really special guest for you today. We're so excited. And I know that I've been looking forward to meeting this young lady for quite some time. And she's actually going to be down in San Diego. I'm going to actually get to go give her a real hug, and looking way forward to that. And she's going to be doing some training down there, and I'm looking forward to getting that training as well, Janine. So, but anyway, we are the Kong Family Show, and we're the Kong family, and we have this really simple goal, you guys. We just want to change the world, and a lot of people might think that's kind of a crazy, unobtainable goal, but the truth of the matter is it's happening. We're watching it happen every single day. One glass of 9.5, one lightning bolt in a box, one incredible guest, and one amazing family at a time. And so today, the show is graced by the lovely Janine Jannicelli. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, that's right.
And she's coming to us, I believe, from the Pacific Northwest, but I'm not positive about that. So, Janine, where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, California, right on Ventura Boulevard.
You're in Los Angeles. Okay, all right. So Janine, we're gonna go ahead and just get rolling with this, because the first thing that I like to know from everybody that comes on the show is I like to know three things: how, when, and why did you get involved with Kong and Water? And then there's a fourth thing. Were you a skeptic like I was?
Yes, I was a skeptic for over 20 years. I'd been hearing about Kong and Water from friends and neighbors and family members, and I just didn't want to be a part of it. I was a Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, and Sprite drinker. That's all I ever drank. And of course, sweet tea, being from North Carolina. And I just didn't want to try it. And I went through different things, financial and health-wise, and people would say, well, why don't you try this water? I go, no, thank you, not interested. And then I was really, really sick in 2013. And a close friend of mine out in Los Angeles, who I used to stay with when I came out here, one day said to me, if you don't start drinking my water to get better, you have to find a hotel to stay at. And I was like, fine, I'll find a hotel. So I started calling hotels in Hollywood, and they weren't cheap, especially when I was staying out here for almost a month. So I decided to go ahead and say, all right, I'll drink your water. And he poured me a big bottle of it, and I would close my bedroom door, and I'd go pour the water down the drain, and I'd, come back out the room and say thanks and let that go. And 3 days went by, and he said, well, how you feeling? And I said, I still feel like crap. He said, well, you still look like crap. He said, and you're not sleeping, obviously, and you're having pains moving around. He goes, I guess you're not drinking my water. I said, of course I am. And so he said, I don't think so, because if you were drinking it, you'd see and feel a difference. So he started filling bottles of water, and standing in front of me with his arms crossed while I drank it in front of him. I felt like a child. And I was not a happy camper. And then a couple days later, I was sleeping better, and I had some energy, and I was starting to feel good for the first time in about a year. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. This is just so crazy. And so I stayed out here for 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks, I was feeling really, really good. And so he said, you want to buy a machine? I said, nope. And he goes, why not? I said, I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm not interested. Went back to North Carolina. And unfortunately, I got sicker. And so he showed up at my doorstep with a ST501 in a box and said, here, drink my water, because you have no excuse. So I made the joke. At the time, I wasn't really joking, but now I look back, it was a joke. I said to a family member, well, if I'm no longer around, make sure my friend gets his machine back. And they said, sure, I'll do that. So I was drinking the water, and, to make a long story short, I mean, it totally changed my life health-wise. And then my friend wanted me to get involved in the business, and which would be my why at that point. And I said, no, not interested. I got too many irons in the fire, not interested. And how much money could I make with water anyway? Not interested. Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just send my referrals to you. So about 6 months later, he called me up and he said, do you have any idea how much money I have made because of your referrals? I said, what, a couple $1,000s? And when he told me how much he made off of my referrals, I'm like, well, how can I make that kind of money? He said, stop giving my phone number. You take the call, you give the water, and I'll stay out of it. And I said, well, what's in it for you? And he goes, well, I'm still going to get a thank you check every time you make a sale. And I was like, now this is too good to be true. So within 48 hours, because I'm a go-getter, when I see something that looks good, looks prosperous, and looks right, I jump right on it. I spent an entire year being a professional water giver. I was the best one in town. Thousands and thousands of miles on my car, bought thousands of gallons of jugs to fill with water, hundreds and hundreds of people drinking the water, and not one person bought a device. And yeah, you laugh. It wasn't funny to me. And I thought, what is wrong? What is going on here? So I ended up selling the machine to my best friend just because I told him, I said, I'm just going to make you buy it anyway, whether you like it or not. And then I sold it to another close friend of mine because she came to a demo. And that was the end of that. 2 sales, that was it. And I thought, I don't know what's going on. I'm the best salesperson in the world. I should be able to sell this because everybody that I was meeting was selling hundreds of machines. So I jumped on a plane and I flew to Okinawa, where our corporate office is based. I went to Osaka, to our plant. I walked through the Yukon fields. I spent 5 glorious days there. They treated me royally. And the Agile company was like unbelievable. And I went straight to the office and I said, I want to know why everybody that I meet in North Carolina and California is selling conga machines and I can only sell 2. And they said, well, tell us what you're doing. And then, make a long story short, found out that I was trying to sell an ionizer. And I was talking about price and money and if you could afford it or not. And when people would say, no, I can't afford it, I'd say, okay, bye. Because what else am I going to say? I can't fight with that since I didn't buy one myself because I couldn't afford it and said I didn't want to be bothered. So they said very nicely and very politely in their lovely Japanese dialect, they said, you are doing it wrong, respectfully said. Give water, tape mouth, walk away. And I said, huh? They said, give water, tape mouth, walk away. I said, well, how am I going to get a sale if I take my mouth and I walk away? And they said, well, it's the water that sells, not you. And I said, well, I'm a salesperson. I got to ask for the sale. And they said, no, give water, tape mouth, walk away. So I said, okay, well, how am I supposed to do that when people in Podunk, North Carolina ain't going to spend no $4,000 on an ionizer? And they said, do as we say, it will work. Give water, tape mouth, walk away. I said, all right, I got the guy's name at the office. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back to the last 30 people or so that I gave water to that said no. And I'm going to contact you in about a month and tell you that you were wrong. And he looked at me and he says, give water, tape mouth, walk away. I said, okay. I felt like the Karate Kid, without the right arm. I thought. So anyway, come back to Raleigh. I went to I guess between 27 and 30 people that I'd already tried to sell, that I'd already given water to. And I did it their way. I told them to please just try the water. I didn't want to sell anything to them. I just wanted them to try the water and let me know what they thought. For 2 weeks, that's all I asked for. Well, 2 weeks later, I sold 20 devices to people that had said no. Yeah, I felt like King Kong. I really did. And I was like, what's up with this? And I'd even say to them, I thought you said you couldn't afford it. And they said, well, I couldn't. But when I saw what it did, and not getting into any medical claims, I will not quote anybody. When they said what it did, they said it was worth buying. It was worth doing this. I had people mortgaging their, second mortgaging their house, selling their cars, selling their jewelry, hawking their stuff to get a machine. And I was like, wow, I think I'm just going to give water, tape mouth, and shut up. So that's what I did. And I did that for 11 months, and I became a 6A. And that was exciting for me. And I made the goal that I was going to be 6A2 within 12 months. Unfortunately, life had something different for me in store. So I didn't quite do it, but I'm planning on being a 6A2 by convention. It may not be on stage because they're last minute deals and all the deals had to be in by May 31st. But when I became a 6A, I was over almost 30 deals short for becoming a 6A at 9 o'clock in the morning. And by 10 o'clock that night, I was a 6A. I did 30 sales in one day. Don't ask how I did it because that's a whole 3-hour story. But I thought I can do it this time too. And that's what I'm working on. So until the very end of convention, I plan on being a 6A2 no matter what I have to do. So as long as it's moral and legal. And I can be So there was my why as far as that goes. And so now we move from the health and the realization that giving water, taping my mouth, and shutting up works. The business, what the business has done for me. And I guess the health is most important, but the financial is pretty sure darn nice. And when I first got involved with this company, and for those of you who are watching this that have listened to my call, this is going to be repetitive. So you can like tune me out if you don't want to hear it again. But if you want to hear it again, great. My mortgage was behind. It was in foreclosure. I had cars that were behind on the payments, a couple of them looking towards repossession. I had $100,000 in credit card debt. I had very few friends because I worked all the time. I was supporting a family, and it was frustrating because I wasn't making enough money doing anything I was doing, whether it was a 9-to-5 job or a home-based business. And I've been involved in 22 of them in my 57 years of life. So, I just thought, well, let me see what this can do. And within less than 24 months, I'd say probably 18 months, I paid off $100,000 in credit cards. I had paid off 2 cars and ended up buying a 3rd car cash. I paid down my mortgage, got it out of foreclosure. I'm way ahead of the game now. And life totally changed. And then what's even as great as the money, if not better, is the friends that I had because of Enagic, because I got such a wealth of friends, as you know, all around the world, that are reaching out to me. I've gone through crises. My son was on life support. I've gone through so many things. And this company, the people in this company have been so incredible. They have been so loving and so giving. I mean, I remember when I was sitting by my son's bedside when he was on life support, and I was getting emails and texts and phone calls from all over the world. 90% of the people I did not know. I mean, I had family members that weren't even calling me to check in. I had strangers from Indonesia and China and Japan and Malaysia and Dubai and India checking in to see, could they pray? Could they do this? Did I need something sent? People were offering to cook for me. I was like, my God, this is incredible. It was just, it blew my mind away. And no, you can't have my parking space. Everybody wants my parking space here. And it's just like, it was just so amazing to me how people could be so giving and so loving to somebody that they didn't even know, had never met. And I said, this is where I want to stay, whether I'm making money or not, whether I'm healthy or sick. I love the Enagic family. I love the people. And then to even add to that, 2 years ago, last month, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And because I trusted my doctor, when he said, let's do a double mastectomy followed by chemo radiation, I stupidly said, okay. And so I scheduled the appointment to do that. And at the time, I was doing a weekly call. It was called the Hour of Power. I don't know if you'd ever been on it or not, but it was a call every week that I just had to uplift people and to give them strength and excitement for their life. I talked about Kangen water. I talked about whatever they wanted to talk about. And one of my friends said, why don't you talk about your cancer on the call? And I said, really, I don't want people to know about my cancer. I don't want them to know. It's nobody's business. So, of course, got to spray my beauty water. And I'm a product of the product. And so I said, well, if it'll help somebody, maybe I will. So I did. And over the course of the next 3 days, I got over 500 people that either emailed me, WhatsApped me, texted me, called me to say to me, do not do the surgery. Do not do the chemo radiation. Get a second and third opinion. And I'm telling you, this doctor had said to me, if I don't do it, I'm going to be gone within 6 months. And so here I am 2 years later. And, they were like, don't do it, do your research. So I did my research. I looked at the alternative methods, and all the research I've done, I have decided that no matter what happens, I'm staying holistic, and I'm going to fight this fight. I'm still fighting it. And I'm going to do it, and not worry about doctors. And, they would call me crazy. They said I was out of my mind. Then they told me, oh, I think it spread to your lungs. I found a spot on your CT. Let's do a biopsy. Let's do another mammogram. I had more mammograms to this body in 45 days than I had my whole life. And it was so, I totally owe that to my Enagic family, because if it hadn't been for them, I would have had the surgery. I would have had the chemo radiation. I would have been less of a body, and I might not even be around, based on what chemo does to you. So again, perfect strangers, most of them that I didn't even know at the time, that were there for me. I wasn't on their team. I mean, I had a lot of my team members that, were cheering on and giving me advice and sending me things. But the strangers that I didn't know, they gained nothing from wanting to help me. They gained nothing from praying for me. They gained nothing for trying to lift me up. And yet they did it. And it's like in all the home-based businesses I've been in, I've never, ever been in a company where the people were this loving and giving. I mean, I even have atheists in this company that are loving and giving to me. And it's like, wow, you know? So what more can you get? Great health, great wealth, and great friendships. And that's what Don Prosser always talks about when he was doing a spree, that it's not about the health claims, because you can't have them. It's not about the wealth claims, because we're not supposed to flash our checks across the screen. It's about the relationships that you create. And the relationships that I've created in this company, I will take with me forever. Whether I'm sick or well, whether I'm rich or poor, I will always have those friends. And that means so much to me, because there are a lot of people in this world, they have great health and they make great money, or they have both and they don't have any friends. They have nobody that cares. There are people in this world that when they have their funeral, nobody will show up. So it's like, you know, it's something. And you being with this company for so long, you know the friendship factor, you know how people are and how they want to help people. And I just can't say enough great things about it, because, you know, that's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, whether you have health or wealth, if you have those friendships that are there for you and people that care and they say they love you and they care. See, all my life, people have said to me, I love you. But in the same sentence, it was usually afterwards, I'm sorry, because they did something wrong or they hurt my feelings. But when people in this company tell you that they love you and they're lifting you up and they're caring for you and they're praying for you and they want you to do well, they mean it. They really do mean it. And I'll never forget my first 3 years in the company. Whenever I had a question, in order to build my business, I'd reach out to all these people that were not on my team and that got nothing from helping me. And I can honestly say, without no exaggeration, never ever has one person in a Magic ever said, sorry, don't have the time. Sorry, why don't you call your upline? Sorry, that's not for me. Sorry, oh, I don't want to help you. Why would I give you a sale when I need for myself? No one has ever said those things to me. And, you know, so I attribute everything to God. And then secondly, is my Magic family, because they've been there for me through thick and through thin. And for anybody that's watching this, you know who you are.
Yeah, that's a touching story. I love it. You know, I mean,
did you get my why?
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about it, Janine, is that, like, for me, I've actually sold more machines for other people than I have for myself.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine with me, because my main thing is people need to get this machine. They need to get this technology into their lives. And like my good buddy Sean always says, they're already paying the money.
That's right.
They're not getting the benefits. You know, you're people out there, guess what? You're already spending the money on a Kangen water machine. You're just not getting the benefits of having the machine, because You're out there spending all this money on all these things that if you had this technology in your home, you wouldn't need to spend that money anymore. And you would get the benefits of trading it for the Kangen water machine. And,
that's right.
You know, you're absolutely right when it comes to the people that are part of this family. Most everybody because there's been, you know, only a couple of people in the 2.5 years I've been involved with this where I was like, oh, that's a bummer. But most everyone is exactly like what you're describing. They just want to help people. They just want to get this out there. They don't care about the money. They have the understanding of the laws of attraction and you know, the laws of helping other people, because if you help enough other people, you end up helping yourself as well. And you know, there's a lot of people out there in the world who have all this money, but once they lose their health, they'll literally spend every dime they have trying to get their health back. And like Amanda said yesterday on the show, she said one of her dearest people in her life who passed away from cancer, she went broke dealing with it, you know, going through chemo and radiation, and all the money she spent, it literally completely broke her and her husband. And even if she would have survived, she had nothing. She had nothing left. They literally took everything she had and killed her anyway. And so that's you know, for me, cancer is my biggest pet peeve in this whole wide world. And, you know, the book World Without Cancer changed my life 26 years ago and turned it to the side of, that's why once I looked at Kangen water, because I was a skeptic, but only until I actually looked. once I actually looked at the water, I wasn't a skeptic for a second. I was like, "Get me my machine," and you know, it was just a matter of looking, and you know.
Well, I have to tell you something funny. Speaking of being skeptical, I'll take it one step further, which is it's funny, but yet it's kind of disheartening that this happened, especially her being a Kangen distributor. But I had a woman from the Philippines that lived in my home for 7 years. She had a Kangen machine. She kept it nestled in her bathroom, and she used it every day, and she drank the water, and she traveled the world building her business, and she'd take the fruits and vegetables out of my refrigerator and take them into her bathroom to wash. And she did this for all those years. She saw me battling with finances. She saw me battling with health, and she never once pushed me to drink it. Not once. She never put it in front of me. She never once said, "Hey, why don't you try my fruits and vegetables?" Nothing. And the irony is, when she found out that I became a distributor under my friend that forced me to drink the water, she got mad. And she said, "Why didn't you buy under me?" I'm like, okay, sorry, I bought under the person that my friend that made me drink it, that gave me a machine. And so for months, I felt bad that I didn't buy from her, since she does live in my home and she's paying rent all these years. And then her upline said to me one day, "Janine, you shouldn't feel bad at all. She should feel bad because she watched you go through all that for 7 years and didn't insist you try the water." I was like, "Oh, you're right. I won't feel bad anymore." But that just shows you how skeptical I was. Even with it in my house, I still wouldn't have tried it, you know, even if she tried, but at least she could have tried. But that's her fault, because now all the checks that I make go to the person that was there for me and that made me drink it, that forced me to drink it, and that gave me a machine. So
Yeah, that's great. I love that, because I would have been like, "Dang it, drink the water," you know.
well, we know how bold and brazen you are, John. I mean, you know, we know you get your point across all the time.
I love it. Look at that. Look, beauty water, making a beautiful lady even more beautiful. I
You're
love
so,
it.
you're
So
so
this is fantastic.
I can tell you that much. If you see my Facebook pictures, I was not beautiful before Kangen water. So that medical claim I can make. It made my skin look a lot better. And you know, people that see I'm close to 60, they go, "You don't look it." I go, "Thank you. That's because of the water I drink." So
Yeah, my buddy Sean, he loves to say he's been involved with Kangen water. He's my partner in crime. He's been involved for about 10 years, and he says, "When I first got involved with Kangen water, I was 5'4" and uglier than hell, and now I'm 6'8" and I'm 6'8".
that reminds me of Don Prosser. He always says, "Well, I had a cat, and the cat drank Kangen water, and now it's a dog."
I love it. I love the characters that are in this company. They are definitely a lot of fun to be around, and a tremendous blessing to have in our lives. And you know, when Kangen water says change your water, change your life, they don't say change your water, change your job, change your water, change your house, change your water, change your car. No, it's change your water, change your life.
That's
Because
right.
it indeed changes your life. It has changed my life. I'm sure it's changed Barry's life, and I know it's changed Scott's life as well. And just real quick, Scott's sitting here listening, so is Barry. You guys have anything you want to say? That any comments or anything you want to ask of Janine at this moment before we move on to the next segment? No? So anyway, you know, like I told you when we first got on here, Janine, my thing is stories, because I believe that facts tell and stories sell. And quite frankly, it was a story that changed my life. It wasn't any technicalities or anything like that. It was an incredible story. And so also, we got to make sure to let everybody know that whatever you decide to say at this point, that this water is not magic. It's not a miracle. It's not a cure. It's not any of that. What is that, and we want to make sure that people understand that, is this thing right here. This thing right here is the cure. This is the miracle. This is the magic. This is an amazing machine that God gave us that runs on electricity and hydrogen. And that's what Kangen water provides. What Kangen water is it is simply a gift that was given to us by God and Mr. Oshiro that provides the main tools that this thing right here needs so it can become its own mechanic and it can go ahead and just fix itself. And so that's where we put the onus is onto this machine right here, not to the machine that you're going to pick up and put on your countertop, because that's not the miracle. That's just an incredible tool and a gift. And so it's very important that we point that out to everybody, because we're not making any kind of cure claims or magic claims or miracle claims. Exactly. What we're mentioning is that the human body is an amazing miracle in itself, and it will do amazing things when it gets what it needs. And so, but it was that kind of a thing. This miracle, this tool was put into the equation of an incredible angel named Brittany Dykes, and it changed her life. And in turn, her story ended up changing my life. And so my goal for the rest of my life is going to be to share stories, and I can share my stories and everybody else's stories and whatever. I mean, I just try to get people to share their stories. So you've already talked about how it's helped your health out. Have you had anything that do you have maybe one or two things that like have really stood out to you over the years? If somebody that was in this situation or that situation and they got this tool and now their life has changed forever.
Have you got 5 hours?
Well, yeah, absolutely. If you want to hang around for 5 hours, I'm all into it. But, whatever, anything that really pops out to you because, this is something I always say, Janine. The thing that has been so powerful for me about this company and why it has touched my heart so deeply is that there is absolutely nothing that I've ever experienced in my life that is more rewarding than having somebody call me up crying, thanking me for changing their life for the better, for helping them change their life. There's nothing more powerful. And, like you were mentioning a little bit earlier, the people that have helped you so much over the years, that they've helped you when they had absolutely nothing to gain. The truth is, for me, anytime I'm able to help somebody get into a Kangen water machine, whether they're buying that machine from me, whether they're buying it from somebody else, I get tremendous, tremendous value out of that in my heart.
Oh, I know.
Because I know that I changed somebody's life today. I get to wake up every morning going, whose life do I get to change today? Hey, there's nothing like it. And so these people did get paid. They just didn't get paid with money. They got paid with gratitude and love. And that's just as important as money, in my opinion. And so, but when you talk about the people that have, that you've
changed lives.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll say is I'll do something that probably very few people do, because when they start talking about changing lives, they automatically start with medical claims, which just drives me up a wall. And I guess that's why it's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny that I still have cancer, but people will say to me, how can you have cancer? You drink Kangen water. And I started on my dissertation over it's not a cure. And there are a lot of Kangen distributors that drink Kangen water that are no longer with us, unfortunately, due to death. So I figure maybe that's my reason for still having cancer in my system. So I can just one day convince people that you can drink Kangen water and still have a terminal illness, which may not be terminal depending on how you treat your body. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to mention one medical example of any life that I have helped change with this water. It's going to be all non-medical. I have seen people go from riding the bus to owning their own car, both new and used, thanks to this company and the water. I have seen people whose houses were in foreclosure, not just mine, but other people's, whose houses are now out of foreclosure and some of them paid off. I have seen some children, or I should say teenagers, get a college education paid for by a parent or grandparent in full because of this company. I have seen a woman who walked to work 2 miles every day that now has a car to drive because of this company. I have seen grandparents that are now communicating with their grandchildren and speaking to them that weren't speaking to them before because the teenager was doing nothing productive with their life and the grandparent thought they were wasting their life. And now the teenager is doing this business and they're making all kinds of great money. And the grandparent now says, well, now they've got a job and they're working. I will associate with them and share my heart. I have seen married couples that were on the verge of divorce that are now happily married because of this water. I have seen people that did not have friends, felt alone, felt lost, that were contemplating suicide, that after getting involved with this family and these people and having a business and having great water and having friends are now happy and healthy and never another suicide thought to enter their mind. Should I keep going on or is that enough examples for you?
Hey, you know, whatever you like to share, I'm all into listening to it, and it's just more value for the family. So you go ahead and keep on rambling as long as you want to, honey.
I've seen restaurants. I've seen restaurants that I have brought the water into their restaurant that were failing in the business. No customers, little customers, few customers, little revenue, that got a device and it changed their clientele. It changed the business. It changed the numbers. I have seen dry cleaners whose business has skyrocketed because they shared that they use Kangen water in the cleaning of their clothes, and the clothes come out a lot cleaner than they used to. Car washes that are doing more business because they promote Kangen water. They give it to their patrons to drink, and they use it for cleaning their carpets and for cleaning the 11.5 for cleaning the rims on the cars. I mean, there's just so many different examples in the 8 years I've been with this company that I have seen lives changed, personalities changed, finances changed, health changed, people's perceptions of things change, just total life in general. And so, and there are a lot of people out there that it's changed their life, but they don't talk about it. I mean, not a lot of people want to get out there in a public forum and say, my house is in foreclosure, my cars are being repossessed, and I was a total loser. But for any of those that have read Mr. Oshiro's book, have you read his book?
I have not read his book yet. I need to get that. I'm in the process of trying to read Bob Wright's book right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a story behind that. I've got 3 copies of Bob Wright's book, and I was given my first copy 8 years ago, and I just finally read it a few months ago. Duh, I wish I'd read it when I first got it. So you need to get on it like today and start reading it. It's an amazing book. But what I was going to say was, I was so excited about this company and what the water had done and all these different things. And I was sharing with people and meeting people. And one day I was talking to Don Prosser, and I'd bought Mr. Oshiro's book, but I hadn't read it yet. And we were talking, and out of the blue, he says to me, well, you know, Enagic is a company that was formed for losers. And I just become a 6A when he said this to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, you got Mr. Oshiro's book. Didn't you read it? I said, no, not yet. I've been kind of busy. And he goes, it says right in the book, he formed Enagic for losers. Well, I got highly offended. My face welled up in tears. And I said, are you stating that I'm a loser? He goes, well, you're not a loser now, but you were one before. And then he went into his psychological mindset mode and explained it to me. And I still didn't believe him. So he went and pulled the book, showed it to me. And I was like, wow, I need to read this book. And I read the book. And sure enough, he did form Enagic for losers, for people that were down in their luck, down on hope, out of a job, sick, poor, fed up with life, fed up with the world, and not happy. And that's why he formed Enagic, to change their lives financially, physically, and relationship-wise. And so then after I read the book, I realized why he did it, what his why was in forming Enagic, what his why is in continuing it even at the ripe age that he is, and why his family will continue it on long after he's gone. So it meant a lot to me, because when I first heard that, I was not highly up on that. I was kind of offended and hurt. And then when I look back on my life before Enagic, I really was a loser. A loser as a businesswoman, a loser as a financial advisor to myself and others, a loser as a parent, a loser as a lot of things. And I saw what this company and this water and this compensation plan and these people did for my life. And then I realized, wow, I'm not a loser anymore because of Enagic. So for anybody who hasn't got the book, go buy it. For those of you who bought the book, haven't read it, and are shocked at what I'm saying is in it, go read it. You'll see why, and it won't shock you after you read it. And for those of you that just have no clue, well, I'm sorry for you, because it's a shame that you don't have a clue, because we are sitting on something that has been amazing for 45 years. It's only going to get better. That will all come out at convention. I mean, being a guest speaker there, I've gotten some inside tips of some things that are going to be going on. I'm excited that you're going, because I believe anybody and everybody should go. And they should not let the price and the cost of airfare and the cost of the hotels and this and that be an obstacle, because I have gone to every convention since 2014, and I have totally changed my mindset on that. Oh, I can't afford it this year, or I better not spend the money this year. I don't care what it takes. I will never miss convention as long as I'm breathing, because so many things happen at convention in addition to the networking and the marketing you can do and the people that you meet and the stories that you can share. You learn so much, you gain so much. And I would just suggest for anybody, especially if you're a 0A or a 1A, and you say to yourself, oh, well, why would I want to go? I haven't sold any machines yet. You need to go. It's even more for the 1As to the 5As than it is for us 6As, because the 6As already know what's going to happen. But the 1As to 5As don't know what to expect, and it will rock their world. So listen to Michelle Rayleigh, and listen to Bob Gridelli, and listen to Tamia, because they're all saying, get your ticket now and go. Get your ticket now and go. I can tell you, you will not regret it. It will change your life even as much as the water's changed your life.
Yes. Amen. I'm really excited to go.
I get no commission, no kickback for saying buy a ticket, and I get no kickbacks off of airlines and hotel fees. I'm just saying do it. And if you have to share a ride, I know for some people they're sharing 4 or 5 to a hotel room to keep the cost low, make it happen. And if you go to the different ticket consolidators online, don't just hop on one airline. There's a lot of consolidators out there where you can get tickets for like $149 round trip from the East Coast to San Diego. So check into it. And if you want to know what those consolidators are, just text me or IM me or PM me, get me on Facebook, and I'll be glad to let you know which ones they are. And there are all kinds of ways to get there cheaply, and there's food is included in the ticket, so you can eat there. And then again, if you need anything while you're there, I'm sure you'll find an Enagic distributor that will help you get what you need.
I love it. That is some great stuff. And you're going to be doing some training there at the convention, aren't you?
Yes, I am so excited. I was asked by Danny DiMichele to do the 6A training for the generals, as he calls it. He goes, now, Janine, he says, there are only going to be generals in the room. Generals that have made it, been there and done that. And you're going to be there to train them. I go, but what is there to train? They already know everything. So it's going to be interesting and a challenge, because, you know, I have so much respect for the people that are going to be in that room, and I'm always looking to them for leadership and guidance. So it's I'm very humbled and feel very fortunate and honored that I've been asked to do that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I wonder if they know, give water, zip mouth, walk away.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. If they don't, once they see the show, they'll now know it, right?
You know, ever since I stopped trying to shove it down people's throats, I've had a lot more success. And so I definitely agree with that. And
well, the thing is, once you realize that your mouth is not going to convince somebody to get a device. I mean, unless they're very wealthy and they just are your friend and they just want to buy something to help you out, because it's just not going to happen. And, you know, you've got to have your why, you've got to have your passion, you've got to be a product of the product. And I tell people, you know, when I was in the master's training, the trainers training in New York last month, which was phenomenal, incredible experience with Mr. Asobi. And, you know, they taught you to start with your 1As and help your 1As up. And there's so much value in your 1As, because a lot of leaders in Enagic feel that, you know, unless you're a 6A, you know, you're not there yet. You're not much yet. And that's when everybody says to me, oh, I'm just a 3A, or I'm only a 2A. I go, listen, you got to be a 2A to get to 6A. You got to be a 3A to get to 6A. So don't look at that as a just or an only, because once you're past that 1A, you're on your way, and that's what counts. So I always tell people, and you've got to have, for people out there that have their machines that aren't doing the business because they're afraid to, or because they shared the water with people and they just got no's. Well, the thing is, think about the way Tamia talks about it. She says you get 99 no's, and then your 100th yes may be a Romy Verdera. It may be a Cynthia Briganti. And so You have to look at it that way. And I value no's now. I like it because it makes me sharpen my tool and it makes me get better. Because if everybody said yes to me, I'd be really, 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 really rich. But then I wouldn't be touching as many lives and I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I challenge, and I like when people say no, because I like to say, okay, fine. Let me step up. Let's step up to the plate and let me brush up my game and let me show you why you need to know more about this company and this water. And when you do it that way and let the water speak for itself, you're much better off because the water is going to do everything. Your mouth trying to get someone to spend that kind of money, it's just not going to work. And it's going to make it seem silly and like you're trying to make a sale and this and that. And it's not about that. It's about increasing your team. It's about making a connection, making a relationship, having them trust you, sharing with them your story, your Enagic story before and after, having them share their story with you and listening to what they say. That's the key thing. Because if you don't listen to what people tell you, you're never going to succeed in this business or in any business for that matter, because you have to listen. So if someone's telling you they're out of work and they just lost their job and their car payments due and their house payments due and they don't know what they're going to do and they don't know where they're going to get the money to pay their next electric bill, you don't want to sit there and try to sell them a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 ionizer. You know, you have to listen to what their needs are. Give them the water. It's free to give them the water. Let them see how it makes them feel mentally, emotionally, how it makes them sleep, how it gives them energy. Let them see the passion in you. And, I tell people if they're not ranking up, if they're not making a lot of sales, if they're not, getting where they want to be, maybe they need to look in the mirror and see if their passion is really there. Are they just giving a gallon of water and saying, here's the price list? Or are they giving a cup of water and walking away? Are they following up? Are they a product of the product? Are they carrying around their beauty water and spraying it? I spray an entire bottle a day of this water on my face. No matter where I'm at, I'm spraying the water. And usually if I'm with somebody for more than 30 minutes and they see me spray twice, they're like, what is that you're spraying on your face? That opens the door to a conversation. And because my face, I guess, looks okay, I can say, well, you like my skin? How old do you think I am? And they say, oh, 40s or 50s. I go, oh, I'm close to 60. And they're like, really? What is your secret? I go, this, would you like some? I'd be glad to give you some. And that opens the door. And then they're trying the water. They're getting benefits from it. And, they're coming to me saying, I really want to get a machine because I really love this water. I'm not having to call them up 50 times. You want to buy a machine? You want to buy a machine? Like I did 8 years ago. And it's like when I tell people there's no selling involved and they go, well, who are your prospects? And I go, anybody breathing. And they're like, no. I mean, who are your prospects to share water with? I go, anybody breathing. And they go, I don't get it. And I go, because if you're breathing, you need and are drinking water. And if you're drinking water, 99% of the population is not drinking Kangen water. They're drinking crappy bottled water and crappy tap water and reverse osmosis and distilled water, And so they have no clue. They don't know. And so we need to educate them. So if they don't want to hear a sales pitch, great, don't give it. If they don't want to hear you pounding and calling them and texting them, wanting to know if they want to try something, great. I get that. Just give them the water. Tell them, hey, it's just a free week, a free 2-week trial to save you from having to buy a bottle of water. Don't expect you to buy anything. Just try it. Tell me what you think. I'm just curious as to what you think. It may work. It may not work. It may do anything for you. It may do something. I just like to know. Just give me that 2 weeks. And if you do it in a non-offensive, caring, kind, loving way, who's going to say no? They're just not going to. So.
Boy, isn't that the truth? And yeah, that's, I love your style. I no wonder you've been so successful. It's, and yes, you are beautiful. That beauty water is a great job on you, honey. You look great. And, like I said, I can't wait to get to San Diego and give you a real hug. And
yeah, a howdy doody, howdy doody hug, right? The first time you texted me with this whoop-de-doo, tooty-dooty-doo, I'm like, what the heck is this guy? Then I saw your name and I go, oh, he must be surprising everybody with his name. So that's why he does this. And so I've been following you all these years because you're howdy doody time with me. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I got a kick when you said you wanted to interview me. I thought, wow, I must have made the big leagues now.
Yeah. Well, my HooDeeeHoooo thing, it's a verbal hug amongst all of its other uses. It's a word that kind of came out of a river trip a long, long time ago. And we've found that it has all kinds of uses, and I'll have to tell you about some of those when we get a chance to meet in person because it's kind of humorous. And people end up hootie-hooing all over the place once they find out what it's all about. I've had people get pissed off at me for it and whatever, once they understand what it is. It's kind of that thing, people tend to get angry about things they don't understand.
And
And
that's
instead of reaching out, trying to figure it out and understand, they just get angry and whatever, that's what a lot of people do. And that's kind of one of the things that we have to deal with here in Kangen Water is trying to, sometimes the biggest obstacle is just getting people to take a look, getting them to drink the water, like you said, you had a machine in your house right there for 7 years, never drank a drop,
That's right.
The gal wasn't willing to be shoving it down your throat. I know if I would have lived in your house, I would have been like, come on, drink the
Day
water.
one.
Crazy.
Day
What's
one.
wrong with you? And, and I think that's really cool. Your friend that, that friend of yours that made you drink the water, I'd sure like to get to meet him and get him on the show sometime, because the one thing about this show that I've found is that it's a real challenge trying to do a show 7 days a week. And
I can imagine.
Get guests on every day. And, luckily the Kangen family is very, very gracious in this regard of being willing to come out and share, because they understand. Ultimately, that's what our goal is to share this water with the world. And in doing so, we are going to accomplish our mission.
That's right.
Our mission is to change the world, and we're not bashful about it. And we're not bashful about the fact that we're water snobs, and that's fine, because I'm a proud water snob, and I will be for the rest of my life. And like Sam Tran says, when people ask him, are you still doing that water thing? He says, well, are you still doing that breathing thing? And it ain't going away. It ain't stopping. And people out there, you're just going to have to get used to it. And so, but
I tell people,
I want to open this up one more time and see if Scott's frozen up there or not. He's not. Looks like he's active. So, Scott, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask Janine?
No, I just find it it's very interesting. I think she uses that beauty water. That's some interesting nuggets on how she's done things, of not actually of selling it, just giving it out. And that's what I plan on doing when I go home next month for my vacation, is just passing out the water to everybody I can freaking pass it out to when I'm down there on the beach. Because what else are they going to do? You're hot, you're in the sun, you're on the beach, want to watch the fireworks, right? So, hey, I'm basically like, here, take this water. What's it for? Don't worry about this. Drink it, man. Let me know how you feel later on. You want more? Come back. I'll give you more. So that's what my plans and stuff are too, and everything. And and I think it's very interesting how she's come from where she was at until where she's at now, and how she's got there. And it's very interesting facts. And I mean, I've come down to my parents. I even told them how I told you I got them finally drinking the water, because they always tell me about their health, because I care about them. I love them and everything. And my mom was always buying that bottled water, spring water, that bottled spring water. And I'm like, if you're going to really get real spring water, I mean, either get Kangen water or go to the spring and get your own real spring water, because there ain't no additives in it, right? But when I was talking to her, I was like, you guys are spending that water. Most people's already spending probably $50 to, I'll say $80 a month on water anyways, average family or whatever. So you can afford that machine and then save on your prescriptions, perhaps. Some of us we do, some of us, we had that disclaimer. It helps some it don't help. We're not saying that it's a magic dust, but actually it is, and let it rain like Kangen water. We all go do the rain dance or something, and just let it rain Kangen water. It'll be like pixie dust. Maybe everybody will actually get smart and start educating themselves. Maybe we need to go up in the helicopter and just start dumping gallons of Kangen water all over the place and just let it rain Kangen water all over everybody, But I found your story very interesting, and I love that you came on the show, and I hope you come on again and everything, and I look forward to hearing from you again. And if we're not friends, if you don't mind, I'd like to send you a friend request and
that'd be great, Scott. Thank you so much, and thanks for taking time on a Saturday morning to listen to the show when you could be doing so many other more interesting things like cutting your grass and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, right now I'm out here on the road though, so I'm all the way over here in Oregon, and coming on this trip, I actually really got to love this trip because I've been over this way, and I think on the other part of the globe or whatever, however you want to put that, but I've never been really on this side, and I actually got to go to Wyoming and Utah and all that, and I got to actually meet up with Sean. I got to go over to John's house and got to meet up with him. He come and got me, so that was a great experience there. And then just driving through the valleys and then going down and go. I think it was a natural forest or the national forest there. I think is actually in Oregon when I got there. And the one person here, I think they said it's the red tree forest, and I've never seen trees so tall and red pine trees. And
Yep.
then the snow on top of the mountains and stuff over here still. I mean, it's so beautiful over here, and it was just an experience coming over here and everything. And that's what I'm working on is with the machine and all that, is educating people about their health and this and that, and then I'll know the finance will come eventually. Instead of me driving a truck for somebody else or whatever, I'm implementing I'm being able to do this on my own and actually be able to stop instead of driving by and seeing a view or just taking a few little pictures. I want to stop, get me a log cabin, just hang out for a week and go get lost out in nature somewhere.
Exactly.
That's what my plans are. But yeah,
What part of Oregon are you in?
over here by Eugene.
Okay.
But I'm like about 11 miles from Eugene at a TA truck stop. So.
Okay, my stepdaughter lives in Klamath Falls.
Oh, okay. I want to if I get to go back that way through the national forest and everything, I want to go right there because that spring. I was driving right along down the spring. I was like, that water is so clear, it's so beautiful. And what I want to actually do though, if I can do that and I can find a way down to the spring, I'm gonna have a bottled water, I'm gonna have tap water, I'm gonna have distilled water, and then a gallon of baby water, and then the Kangen water and some water I want to scoop up in an actual bottle from the actual spring and do a demonstration and see what all that is like. This is real spring water. Let's see what real spring water has compared to the Kangen water.
That's right. Make sure you videotape it. Make sure you take your phone and videotape it.
Yeah, because I haven't really seen anybody do something like that with actual real spring water straight from the actual natural spring compared to the Kangen water. So I wanted maybe I could be the first one to do something like that. So I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, this was a great experience come over. It's just been a great view, and I'm doing like a 34, and then after I leave here, I got to go over to Washington, get loaded up there, and then head over to North Carolina from there. So I still got
what part of North Carolina are you going to?
Let me look at it real quick.
Yeah, Scott's our resident 18-wheeler driver.
I see that.
He's all over the place. He lives in Florida.
He's in Florida. Okay, well.
I'm in Eugene, and I'm going to Prosser, Washington, and from Prosser, Washington, I'm going to Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville. Okay, well, there's some great leads up there because there's hardly any distributors in Asheville. I live in North Carolina, so there's hardly any distributors up there, so you can drop some seeds while you're there, and I'm sure you'll get a really great response. All
right. But yeah, and if you're over in the Florida area next month or whatever, like I said, I'm gonna be off of vacation for a week, so I plan on being, if not at the house, I'm gonna be at the beach pretty much every day. And what I was trying to do is get a bunch of people together. Panama City Beach, about 37 miles from Panama City Beach.
How far is that from Gainesville?
Gainesville, I think, is over that's South Florida, right? I know from Auburndale, Lakeville, or Lakeland, or is it Lakeville?
Oh, Niceville.
Niceville. I'm probably only about a couple hours from Niceville.
Okay, because that's where I'll be sometime in July.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'll be there at the beginning of July because, like I said, I live over there by the beach and everything. And I was thinking about getting some people together, just hang out on the beach, to light mine, to have a good time. And what I was trying to get together was like a water demonstration and rent a condo and just, and have a good time down there. And
rich senior citizens from Florida. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't get it done in time, so that's something I'm gonna implement maybe on next year or something like that. That we go off and maybe get together, get some people together, do something like that. But yeah, I love the story and everything you have. But yeah, everyone's already spending the money. You're already spending $50, $80, $100 a month on bottled what we say, what, smart water,
Right.
and then alkaline water, and then you look at the back of the bottle and you're like, well, it has 5 additives in this alkaline water, so why does this water have additives in it? So I mean, it's not
And
really
expiration date too. Don't forget
huh?
the expiration date.
Oh yeah. You know, the expiration date. How long was he at the warehouse before it ever got on the truck to make it to the store? You know.
That's right.
So,
Exactly.
Sure.
Well, thanks for all that, Scott. So Janine, let's move on to the next little aspect of this. And this is my favorite question that I love to ask everybody because I always get such different answers.
Okay.
And
Let
my
me prepare.
question is this.
Go ahead.
You've got somebody out there that's interested in Kangen water, maybe one way or the other. Maybe they're sitting on the fence, and you've got one thing you get to say to them. What is it?
One thing I get to say to them, meaning like a sentence, or I get 15 minutes with them, or one line, or
You got one thing you get to say, and you don't have much time to say it. You got to come up with one really super hard-hitting thing. What is it?
well, if I've spent some time with them talking to them, I will say to them, do you trust me? And I ask them to look in my eyes, and usually they say yes. And I go, if you trust me, then trust me to try this water, because it has changed my life and it has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives that just myself have met in the last 8 years. And I would just ask them, what have they got to lose? Just try it. And I promise them it will change something for them. I can't promise what it's going to be. It could be a lot, it could be a little, but it will change something. And to just trust me and just give me the benefit of their time for a week to get free water. And that's what I would say.
I love that one. You know, that's why I love that question so much. I always get so many interesting different answers because we all have our thing. You know, everybody has their reason, their why, and that kind of stuff. And so I love that one. You know, do you trust me? Well, trust me enough to try this water because, yeah, it's going to change your life. What do you have to say there, Scott?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That it's just on with her saying that and you saying that. That's basically how I did my parents. When I was telling you I was having issues with them, my mom started drinking it first, and I got my dad finally started drinking and making the tea and the coffee and even ice cubes with it, and got him putting the bottled water and or pitcher of water in the fridge. But that's what I told them because I was always telling them, I've been telling you, I've been watching her health go downhill, right? So watching her health go downhill and everything, I'd go home and they was always telling me about their health, or the doctor said this, the doctor said that. Now the doctor's gonna put me on this other medicine. And then I eventually just got to the point that I told them, I was like, I care about you guys. I love you guys and this and that, and I want to see you stay here. I don't want to ever lose you. If you can live to be 200 years old, I want to keep you till then, and I know that's not going to happen. But I told them, I said, don't take this the wrong way or whatever, but if you don't start implementing the water, because the machine's here on the counter, I'm gone for 30 days. When I come home, I fill up gallons of water, just like when I met up with you. Now I don't have to. I can do away with a couple of plastic bottles that we're supposed to be doing away with, these plastic bottles, and having the bags. And I got them extra bags. I fill them up. That's the only water I drink out here. I try to make my coffee with it when I got coffee, so I got my coffee maker, and then I make warm tea at night with it, and I drink it during the day. But I come to the point that I told my parents, I was like, don't take it wrong or whatever, but I want you to take it at heart. That if you don't start implementing the water, I don't want to keep on hearing about what the doctor said and what other medicine he's putting you on and this and that, because I'm not meaning to be mean, but I don't care, but I do care. I care because this is happening and the doctor's doing all this to you, but I don't care because you're not doing nothing to change. And if you're not doing nothing to change it, nothing's going to change. And there's a machine right here that you got to implement every single day, all day long, that you're not implementing. So implement it and let me see what it does for you. Because out here on the road and I'm drinking it, like I've explained before, I sleep better, I feel a little more energized, and I don't get as stiff in my back, and my arthritis don't mess with me on my hip. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I wasn't being mean to them, But that's how I got them to actually start drinking water. I told them, I said, you guys ain't going to implement something that you got right here that could help cure the problem. I don't want to keep on hearing about what's going on because you're not doing nothing to change it. But I love you guys. So I finally got them, you know. And, you know, once you get in your age, you got that mindset. And it's hard to change. My mom was born in I think 47. Yeah, she's 72. So in 47. I mean, some of us are, you know, it's hard just to get that mindset because we're stuck in them ways and don't believe that something just as easy as water will change lives, you know. And why there's something so easy like this, why wasn't we told about it? You know, but that's other stories. But yeah, that's why I got my parents to finally start drinking the water. So I told them, I said, if you ain't going to implement the machine, I don't want to keep on hearing the same story every time I come home that the doctor said this or that. And now you're, instead of taking 3 medicines, you're taking 7 medicines. And, you know, and it's all because you aren't doing something that I'm trying to educate you about.
That's right. And John, you know what I tell people when, you know, I try to lead into when I'm sharing, when someone, you know, is like really hesitant and they really don't want to try it, I'll say to them, let me tell you something. I said, if I was selling you a book or a pill or a potion or a lotion or a piece of exercise equipment, you'd try it. Why? Because you'd say, oh, I haven't tried that before. I haven't read that book yet. I haven't tried that cream yet. The reason you're hesitant to listen to me is because you drink water. So you figure, why should you try my water when your you've been drinking water all your life and you still have all these problems, you're still broke and sick. So I say to them, just pretend I'm a book, I'm a pill, I'm a potion, I'm something you've never tried before, and just try me. Try it, you might like it.
I love that. That is so good. Janine, you are such a rock star. I love it. I can't wait to meet you. You know, my partner in crime over there, he just showed up. And it looks like he might be locked up again. For some reason, his internet has been giving him problems as of late. Oh, there he is. Sean, what do you have to say, brother? Good to see you. Uh-oh. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Unmute.
You're raising the bar on the weekends by bringing in a caliber of gal as Janine Jannicelli this lovely Saturday afternoon.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, and we're getting a greenhouse together. We're we had to go get some wood and stuff this morning. I just was sitting there looking at my phone, and I didn't even realize the 12:30 thing, so I hopped on like my britches were on fire. But no, I mean, hearing the conversation just at the tail end that I got it, I mean, yeah, I know, Scott, it's funny, you know, I get it. I agree. You want to help people, but again, I think a lot of people become addicted to their story. I think a lot of people, we become a society that we love pity. We love to tell our sad stories. We want empathy. We want people to feel for us. And I'll be dadgum if people will not step out of that in some cases, man. They just want to stay in that pity mode or disrepair mode. I literally can tell you people in my family that if they're not feeling in some sense of disrepair, it's almost like some kind of self-sabotage. They don't know how to function without struggle. They don't know how to function outside of pain. And it's like, good Lord, what is that getting us? That's not a quality of life. That's just hanging on. You might as well just go out to pasture and go out to the river and sit there until you pass. I mean, you're not doing anybody any damn good. And I know that sounds insensitive, but it's like, what are we doing here? You know, you look at all the sick people are the ones that want universal health care because they don't want any accountability for the response for what they've not done for their own health. So it's like, I can eat crap, I can drink crap, I can live like crap, but no, I need the government and the insurance companies to wipe my ass for me when I don't know what's going on. I know that's a little candid, forgive me, but I struggle with that. I do. And so, you know, again, by the grace of God go I try and talk to other people that have a little more of a healing, wanting to improve mindset. You guys will get a kick out of this. So my kids, and this is quick, my little kids, my son's buddies were at the grocery store with their sister yesterday, and these little turds did not happen to grab a big old tub of strawberries. So I laid it on them because their folks and their grandparents have been blowing me off like a stiff breeze in the last 2 years, you know, and they all got issues, you know. They all got the doctor's story. And so I'm like, so what are you guys doing? You grabbing that little pint, that little 2-pound pint, a couple pints of poison, are you? They're like, what? I was like, look, you are putting 45 up to 45 different chemicals, pesticides, and herbicides. You're going to go home and eat them. And they are absolutely rife with cancer-causing agents on those strawberries. So you tell your folks, I've totally told them this, tell your folks to wise up and quit poisoning you guys softly and silently, and call Uncle Wetzel. The little guy, the 8-year-old, kept looking back at me. He's like, well, how can we clean it with other types of water? I'm like, you can't, bud. You can only do it with Uncle Wetzel's water. He spun around and looked at me with this look on his face. He wasn't mad, but he was just chewing on it hard. The wheels were turning, and I'm like, bud, see, you're at least thinking about it. And that's why I love children, because they don't know any better and they want the truth. A lot of old people been around long enough, they know all too well. They get it. Just everyone in between that gets caught up in this whole little game of life, and they don't know whether they're coming or going, shooting or passing, dribbling or traveling, you know. They're just randomly going through stuff. So I took it upon myself yesterday to just lambaste the kids with a little conscious thought about what they're eating. It was great move on my part.
I hope you left a business card with the parents.
Yeah, no, and I love their parents. They're great people, wonderful people. I'm just expecting to hear from them. And if I don't today, I'm calling them saying, hey, look, your kids are done. They're tired of eating cancer-causing produce that you're unconscionably buying or intentionally buying because you don't want to dial into what I'm talking about. So I'm either going to continue to stalk and hassle you guys, or you're going to just get a machine and you're going to save your kids' lives early. You know, I say that sincere as a heart attack, but I'm playful about it, you know. So, yeah, that's my...
Thank you for your tactfulness in sharing.
No, and that's it. That's it. You know, hey, if I'm anything, I'm direct, young lady. You know, and if I see after my directness, if I'm a little too direct and you need a warm, fuzzy hug, I'll give it to you because I'm all about that. But, yeah, the truth is the truth. It don't have to sting, you know. It doesn't have to sting. The truth can be a pillow so soft that you could sleep for hours. Or the pillow, or, you know, or it could be a big rock. You know, the truth is what you make it. You know, we can fight it and we can, you know, fester over it. But once you learn it, you got to make a choice. And I think that's where you're dealing with that whole 3 different stages of truth. You know, I'm dealing with violent opposition right now. I've been called a charlatan. I've been called a water whore. I've been called snake oil salesman. I'm rude. I make others feel inferior. I'm like, come on, man. My posts are designed to get your attention and to challenge the critical thinkers, not to expose all the wounded victims.
What rank are you? What is your rank with the Magic?
Oh, looks like he must have froze up. He's a 6A.
Okay, that's what I thought. He had to be with that kind of mentality.
Yeah, he's solid, and you know, like we always say, we're not on the same team, but we're in the same league, and
Exactly.
We've been working together for about a year now. We met through a different affiliate program, and we just hit it off right out of the chute. And
well, let him know if he needs any great videos of the produce and what the water does to it. I've got some great videos that I did in my own kitchen. I'll be glad to share with him, to share with those parents.
Yeah, any of that kind of stuff that you can share out and you wouldn't mind sharing out on the, you know, with the Con family page or on my personal page or whatever like that, or on your page, I'll get to see it.
Okay,
and,
well, do you know
I
have a Facebook page. It's called ERW Results Without Words. And
ERW Results. See,
without
that kind of
words,
brings me to the last.
It's very important that you put without words, because what happened was when I first started a Facebook page with Kangen Results, I was told, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because you can't talk about testimonials and you can't do this and do that because the FDA is going to say something. So I decided to create a page where no one's talking and no one's writing anything, and it's just before and after pictures so you can see what Kangen water can do, and there's no testimonies made whatsoever.
Awesome. I love it. So we're about to finish wrapping this thing up for today, but I wanted to do the part here at the end that I love to do in every one of these shows, because one of my things is to try and unite people, get people together who resonate with each other, because we never know whose story is going to get whose story is going to open up and put the light on in somebody's brain cell, like what happened with Brittany's story for me. And so at the end of these shows, I like to give the guests an opportunity, because there might be somebody watching this, days, weeks, months, or years from now, who they want to work with Janine. They like that angel. I got to get in touch with her. I want to work with her. I want to get my Kangen sheet from her. I want to work with her. She's sharp and she's beautiful and whatever. I want to work with her. But if you don't tell them how they can get in touch with you, then they don't know. They won't be able to do it, whatever. And so I want to just say, like, if you have Facebook or anything like that, I'd like you to give out whatever information you want to give out to people. But I also want to give a little disclaimer to everybody. If you're going to send Janine a Facebook friend request, dang it, be courteous and give her a message along with that friend request that says, hey, Janine, I saw you over there on that Kong Family, that crazy show, and I felt compelled to get in touch with you. Just send her some sort of a message that tells her why in the heck you're sending her a friend request. And with that said, what kind of contact information would you like to give out to our audience so they can get a hold of you?
Well, thank you for saying that, John. And they gotta act fast, because I'm up to 4,949 friends, and they cut you off at 5,000. So they better hurry and make the request quick. But I appreciate you saying that. Well, my Facebook page is Janine Jannicelli. My Kangen Facebook page is Kangen Water. My business page is Living Life to the Max. My website is betterwaterbetterlife.net, not .com, but .net. Again, that's betterwaterbetterlife.net. And I'll even give my phone number if anyone wants my phone number to text me or instant message me, whatever you want. I'm here for people. And if you'd like for me to work with you and help you build your team and get you started, I would love to do that, especially this week, because the countdown is on and I'm just a few sales away from 6A2. And so I would love to work with you and help you change your life. And John, thank you so much for the opportunity to do this. And I wish you the best of luck with it. And I just tell people to drink your water and spray your water, and then go out and get a t-shirt that says, I love 9.5. I go out every time wearing one. I'd be wearing one right now, except I'm on my way to speak at a function. And so they didn't want any promotional materials worn. So, but I'm always out and about. Just, be a product of the product. Because if you're not walking around with a Kangen bottle with Kangen water in it, and you're not spraying your face with beauty water, and you're not cleaning your vegetables and fruits in a restaurant. I do that all the time. People look at me like I'm from outer space. They go, what are you doing? I said, I'm taking the pesticides off my fruits and vegetables. And they watch me do it. And then I let them sample theirs and then mine. And they just look at me like, wow. So you've got to be a product of the product. So if your rank is low, it can be high if you have that passion, if you don't take no for an answer, and if you give water, tape mouth, and walk away. So
I love it. What was you didn't give out your phone number. What was that?
Okay. 919-272.
North Carolina?
Yes, 83.
Nice.
919-272?
Yes, 8389.
8389.
Yeah, I used to talk
I'll
with
be
an accent, but everybody used to pick on me all the time because I said y'all, so I had to get rid of my accent and start talking like a normal person.
My son went to high school at Eastern Elements in Mebane.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's between Greensboro and Hillsboro.
50 miles from me. Yep.
Nice. Nice.
Well, that is fantastic. Janine, thank you so much for taking your valuable time to come here today and give us such awesome stuff, just incredible golden nuggets for everybody that is surely going to help people. And, you know, thank you for all that you do out there to try and help us accomplish our mission. Because
listen, thank you for what you do too. I mean, you're amazing, and I appreciate the show. I appreciate how you reach out, how you love the water, how you share it with everybody. I appreciate your spirit. I appreciate the years that you've been with this company, that you've never let anything, adversity, a no, anything negative hold you back. And I just thank you for doing this. And I just encourage people to watch the show, share it with people, share our water, share our mission statement. Come to convention. I would love to see you. And just keep doing what you're doing, because it's people like you that keep the company growing and building.
yeah, amen. We are going to keep doing it because we are the Kong family, and we have this really simple goal. We just want to change the world. And how is it that we're doing that again, Sean?
I'd like to say we're changing the world one hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, absolutely wonderfully hydrating glass of Kangen water 9.5 at a time. And thank you for asking, JJ.
Amen. And one lightning bolt in a box, one incredible guest, and one amazing family at a time. Janine, thank you so much for joining us today. And
hats off. Hats off.
Yes, amen. Hats off to the beautiful lady. And
to the three guys out there listening today, thank you guys. I appreciate you taking time out from your Saturday to listen in.
Yes, and you know, safe travels getting down to San Diego. We look forward to seeing you down there. Wets and I will be down there. We're gonna be giving you a big group hug. And for now, though, do not forget your hugs and your HooDeeeHooos. Do not forget. HooDeeeHoooo. Love you guys so much. Have yourselves an awesome rest of the day and the rest of a great weekend. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday, Janine.
Yes, I can hardly wait. Get a good seat in my training class.
Yes, I'll be there. I'm not going to miss it. No way. Got to be there.
All right. Thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend. All right. Take care.
You do the same, honey. Thank you once again for jumping in with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
HooDeeeHoooo.